All right, good morning, Derbyverse. Welcome to Turnaround Skates track number 1, Brouhaha 2015. I'm Biff Mix-a-Lot.
And I'm Old Woody Tie.
And we are going to bring you Grand Raggidy versus Ann Arbor. Two teams from Michigan traveling to Wisconsin to skate against one another.
Yeah, why not? Let's take a little road trip to the city of beers.
Hey, it's not a bad road trip from Michigan.
No, absolutely not.
4 hours, maybe,
for
both teams. We start today's play. Ann Arbor is ranked, according to the WFTDA rankings that were fresh off the presses yesterday. Ann Arbor's ranked number 63, tantalizingly close to a Division II playoff berth. And Grand Raggidy enters today, ranked number 75. Grand Raggidy has a slightly unfortunate bit of scheduling. They skated in the last bout on this track last night. They defeated NEO Roller Derby pretty decisively. I don't remember the final score. So they come in, they get the first bout, they get the second bout this morning. They got to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
So they face a upcoming and frisky and ambitious Ann Arbor Derby Dimes team that has been a relative upstart. Grand Raggidy, one of the older, more established teams in roller derby. Ann Arbor has really made a good rise through the rankings so far this year, and they are aiming for a playoff berth in either Detroit or Cleveland.
Yeah, I had a chance to have the house call last night for Grand Raggidy, and their jammers are super fast, super agile. So really excited to see how they stack up against Ann Arbor today. Obviously, a little bit higher ranked team than NEO. So we'll see how this one goes today.
All right.
Looking forward to the call. We're going to get this thing started. Skaters are getting on the track.
Yeah. Skaters and refs getting all set. Grand Raggidy first out to the notorious RED jammer line.
Yeah, we are here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is day 2 of the 6th annual Midwest Brouhaha. Derby Laces track number 1 is what you are watching.
First to take the jammer star for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes, number 1111, Leslie Arnez. She will be jamming against number 35, Extreme Tack for Grand Raggidy.
And 5 seconds in, we have our first penalty. It looks like clockwise block, and we're going to have our first socket to me power jam, Biff.
And Ann Arbor will go on the power jam with Leslie Arnez. She's into the first turn, out of the pack first. She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Of course, Ann Arbor wearing the white with the purple highlights. Grand Raggidy wearing black.
Yeah, Grand Raggidy just redesigned their uniforms just like Gotham, so a little black and blue color scheme. Leslie Arnez going face-to-face with Bette Mangler. She's through for a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. First 5 points on the board go to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, watched Bette Mangler last night, and she is a hard-hitting blocker for Grand Raggidy, a vital asset to their defense.
Now Leslie Arnez passing through the pack quickly, almost untouched, to pick up another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. That'll be 10 points for Ann Arbor.
Unfortunately, Bette Mangler is going to go to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
She picked up a misconduct.
And she's going to actually be in there for a minute.
And an insubordination call, I believe. So she is serving a full minute, and that is another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnez. 20 points total on the jam so far. Ann Arbor off to a very quick start. Extreme Tack has finished her penalty. She's encountering the Ann Arbor pack. Giving her toe stops a workout. She's trying to get out of the pack right now. Leslie Arnez, another 4 points for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
She'll get past one and then just can't get past the second and gets cycled out of bounds and has to come all the way back around.
And jam has been called off. 4 more points for Ann Arbor.
I will tell our fans watching at home, if you hear a set of whistles and don't see our skaters stop, that's because we are back-to-back here, 2 tracks, Derby Laces Track 1 and Derby Laces Track 2. So you may hear some whistles out there as we have some bleed over. We are in an official timeout right now. Looks like they're looking at the scoreboard here, trying to make sure that's right.
Yeah, I think there's some things that don't seem to be quite synced up between the Ringster and what you see on your feed. So while we have a chance, I'll run through the Ann Arbor roster. Number 10, Bex. Number 11, Leslie Arnez. You saw her in the first jam. Number 187, Slamlet. Number 22, Track Magic. Number 24, Jadzia Smacks. Number 3, Lethal Bo Peep. Number 4, Michelle Obamia. Number 404, Slamuel Jackson. Number 62, Fracture Mechanics. Number 63, Jackie O'Bashes. Number 69, Lucille Baller. Number 811, Tiramisu. Number 84, Dr. Mamesu, fresh transfer from the Glass City Rollers. Number 886, Strawberries and Scream.
For the Grand Raggidy Roller Derby All-Stars is number 00, Bet Mangler. Number 01, Lindsay Blohan. Number 09, Mona Vadid. Number 14, Gypsy Rose. Number 17, Ultra Fox. You'll see her jamming quite a bit tonight. Number 29, Hawaiian Punch. Number 33, Trashy Tulips. Number 35, Extreme Tack, also another jammer for Grand Raggidy. Number 45, Jinja Ninja. Number 69, Bitty Bitty Bang Bang. 77, Lucy Morals, the third jammer in their rotation. 83 is the Ringo Death Star. Number 88 is Garden Hoe. And number 91 is Sugar Pants. And I said tonight, but it is still early this morning.
Yes, it is.
9:50 local time here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So perhaps those of you in the Eastern time zone that have an interest in this Ann Arbor Grand Raggidy bout, maybe you're just getting ready to have Derby brunch instead of Derby breakfast.
There you go.
So some issues to be sorted out here.
Val.
I want to thank Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. They're the penalty box sponsor. Play, stay, and get lucky at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination. Table games, dining, shows, hotel. It's all there, only at Potawatomi.
You know, Biff, I'm going to have to check that out before we head out of town. I always like a good game of roulette, so I have to swing by and check that out.
When in doubt, bet on black.
There you go. So just to kind of update you right now, we do have some equipment malfunction. Some cables are being replaced, so we'll keep you entertained here, but maybe a good time to go refill the coffee cup or take a break. But as soon as they get it fixed, we will get right back to the action here.
Well, just while we have a little bit of time, I did a little bit of quick rankings math when I went for coffee this morning. So Ann Arbor came in at number 63, Grand Raggidy number 75. To maintain their ranking point average, and this is a very rough calculation, I admit, Ann Arbor basically only has to score 47% of the points against Grand Raggidy to maintain their ranking. If they win, and I just assume sort of 51% of the points, they would get 267.75 ranking points. That is above their average, so that would help them move up a couple spots. Right now they're at number 63, right on the edge of a playoff berth. You know, sometimes teams above that point drop out, so maybe they're in now, but strong performances this weekend for Ann Arbor could really help their case to get into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grand Raggidy did what they needed to do last night, handily winning against Neo. But they definitely need to, from what we saw in our first jam here today, they're going to have to be able to control the jammers from Ann Arbor a little bit better and get their jammer out and be able to score some points, put some points on the board.
I saw Ann Arbor play earlier this year against Fort Wayne, their first bout of the season, and I was really impressed with Ann Arbor's pack play. I think if they play like they did then, I think this is going to be a very interesting bout. I mean, Grand Raggidy has, better-known jammers, Extreme Tack. She's skated around with Grand Raggidy and some other teams in that part of Michigan, so she's been around the block a few times. Veteran jammer, and she obviously got quite a bit of work last night against NEO. We'll see how that plays out later today.
Yeah, and of course you're seeing the skaters right now. Obviously, this isn't as good for them either. They've warmed up and now they've cooled back off, and so trying to get this fixed as quick as possible. But yeah, in that bout last night, Grand Raggidy, the three jammers, but the two that really stood out last night were Ultra Fox and Lucy Morals. I know Lucy had 77 points in the second half alone, and really piled up the points last night. And really good play, really great track awareness I noticed last night with the jammers from Grand Raggidy, knowing where the other jammer was. And a lot of times they were calling it off without even looking, just their kind of that internal clock that goes off that knows when they hit the pack they've got 3 or 4 attempts to try to get through, get some points, and then call it off. Very impressed with the jammers from Grand Raggidy, and obviously the coach for Grand Raggidy has been around for a long time, been around since the beginning of their team, and so she's doing a good job with that team.
Okay. Well, still waiting here. Still waiting for some resolution.
Sure, why don't we talk about Bruce Skate Nooses? They're one of our sponsors, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Bruce Skate Nooses, we have over 50 colors and patterns to fit your team, your league, or your personality. If that isn't enough, contact us for more customization options. You spend a lot of money on those skates. Don't shove them in a bag full of sweaty gear. Your skates hate that. Get the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Keep your skates aired out and show them off with Bruce Skate Nooses. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or online at bruisedsn.com.
Well, we thank you for your patience. The scoreboard is being rebooted right now. The Ringster feed we have sub in front of us shows Ann Arbor with a 29-0 lead after one jam. A very substantial power jam for Leslie Arnez. We also want to thank Turnaround Skates. Turnaround Skates having an awesome raffle. You can win $100 in online store credit, a nutcase helmet of your choice, and more. No purchase necessary to win, but for every $10 you spend, you get an extra raffle entry. Visit Turnaround Skates trackside at Rink 1, the Derby Laces track 1, for a free skate checkup. They have all the parts you need to get your skates in perfect condition.
Starting to mill around a little bit out on the track right now, and skaters trying to stay loose. And like I said, just one of those kind of quirky glitches right now that they got to get fixed so that the jam timers know when to start and end the jams, and
make sure the clock's right, make sure the score's right. And just to fill you in, if you're wondering what's going on over on Derby Laces track number 2, arch rival enjoying a 198-69 lead over Steel City with 22 minutes remaining in that bout.
So while we have a few more minutes here, we got some exciting bouts coming up today. We saw, I don't know if you had a chance to sit in and watch that first bout. I was sitting up in the stands watching a team that's close to my heart, Old Capital City, right here on the Derby Laces track 1. And that came down to the last jam. And Bisman gave it all they had. But a comeback by Old Capital City, and they ended up winning by 3 points, I believe it was. So, and right now over on track 2 is arch rival versus Steel City. So I think we're going to take a quick break right here while the scoreboard is being rebooted. So we're going to take a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Back in a few minutes.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, Derby at 6. Come for Derby, stay for fireworks. Find the Derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
And, of course, as soon as we go to commercial, the scoreboard's fixed. That's how it always is, right, Biff?
Murphy's Law 101.
Amen, brother. All right, so as we get started here, it's going to be Slamuel L. Jackson for the Brawlstars jamming, and Ultra Fox.
Speaking of Ultra Fox, she's jamming for Grand Raggidy. They skate away from the notorious RED jammer line. Both jammers still stuck in the pack as the pack navigates through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Ann Arbor has a very stiff defense.
Ultra Fox through. She finds a seam to the inside of Dr. Mamju and earns lead jammer status for Grand Raggidy.
There's Gardenho with a hard hit, but unfortunately out of play.
So she will pay a visit to the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box. Slamuel Jackson remains on the track, and Slamuel L. Jackson is on the Socket to Me Power Jam. Penalty incurred by Ultra Fox. Was that a back block? Did you see that?
It is a back block. There's a B on the whiteboard on the inside.
Okay. Samuel L. Jackson on the power jam for Ann Arbor. She gets through the pack first time. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And you see Ann Arbor backing up as they are preparing for incoming skaters.
Michelle Obama there at the front of the pack for Ann Arbor. Going against a triangle defense from Grand Raggidy. That's Samuel L. Jackson. She almost spins out of that last block. She goes out of bounds, has to recycle back in. So she is reabsorbed into the pack. Ultra Fox has finished her time in the penalty box.
She completed that pass, so she got her 4 points from the previous.
That'll be the first 4 points of the bout for Grand Raggidy. This jam will go the full 2 minutes. Ultra Fox had picked up lead status before getting a penalty, and she picks up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam of her own. That moves Grand Raggidy up to 9 points. Samuel Jackson, another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points to Ann Arbor. And the jam is called, it times out. 2 points to Grand Raggidy, 3 more points to Ann Arbor.
And we're going to have a misconduct issued to Hawaiian Punch at the end of the jam. Last year, that would have been called an illegal engaging after the whistle. It is now a misconduct. It has been moved out from a procedural to an action penalty this year, and rightfully so.
Yep, indeed. Bex jamming now for Ann Arbor. Number 77, that is Lucy Morals, third jammer in the rotation for Grand Raggidy.
And they tend to use a 3-jammer rotation, Biff.
Okay. Bex picks up a track cut penalty. She will go to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Grand Raggidy now on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Lucy Morals, the jammer to take advantage of that. She earns lead jammer status. That's 2 in the first 3 jams for Grand Raggidy. And she is on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Back at a standstill at the entrance of turn 3. Moving slowly forward, a little offensive blocking from Grand Raggidy. Lucy Morals bounced out by Lethal Bo Peep. She has to go retreat into the pack. She's bounced out then by Fracture Mechanics. Has to go back in behind the pack. Fracture Mechanics, a very impressive blocker for Ann Arbor. Very physical, very fast. Bex has served her penalty time.
Lucy having a lot harder time getting through this Ann Arbor defense. And maybe out of frustration taps her hips and calls it off.
But she picks up 5 points for Grand Raggidy, who completes a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. She, most importantly, keeps Ann Arbor off the scoreboard. Score now stands Ann Arbor 42, Grand Raggidy 16.
Tara Masu will be jamming for the Brawlstars, and Mona Vadid for Grand Raggidy. It's the first time we've seen her out here today jamming.
Jam is underway. Skaters advance away from the notorious RED jammer line. Tiramisu encountering a 3-wall of Grand Raggidy. They hold her up long enough to allow Motivated to earn lead jammer status for Grand Raggidy. 3 times the first 4 jams for Grand Raggidy. They have earned lead status. Motivated approaches the pack at high speed, spins around a couple of blockers, calls off the jam.
Yeah,
3 points.
Great change-up for the coach. Put Mona in there, and so actually put in a 4th different jammer. Throw something new at Ann Arbor, Biff.
Yeah. Well, Ann Arbor going back to number 1111, Leslie Arnez as the jammer. We see number 17, Ultra Fox for Grand Raggidy. Ultra Fox picked up 11 points in her first jam. Each team 3 blockers on the track, each team with 1 blocker in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Leslie Arnez dances around the outside. She's lead jammer for the Ann Arbor Brawlstars. Ultra Fox sets off in hot pursuit. Pack at a standstill in turns 1 and 2. She spins the inside, calls off the jam. She picks up the full 4 points. Well done by Leslie Arnez. She's 2 for 2, earning lead jammer status. And she has gotten 32 points in total on the board for Ann Arbor. But Ultra Fox able to pick up 4 of her own for Grand Raggidy. Score stands now 46-23.
Yeah, that was excellent understanding of what was going to happen on the part of Ultra Fox, and slid in there at the last second and got those 4 points.
Jamming now for Ann Arbor, it's number 404, Slimuel L. Jackson. Jamming for Grand Raggidy, number 77, Lucy Morals. Lucy Morals facing the last 2 Ann Arbor blockers. She goes around Dr. Mame-Ju. She is lead jammer for Grand Raggidy.
And has a substantial lead on her opposing jammer right now, as Grand Raggidy's tightened up the defense with Gardenho out there kind of leading the point.
And Slimuel Jackson out of the pack. She gets around Gardenho.
Gardenho called for an out-of-play penalty there, so she's going to be going to the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box.
Lucy Morals picks up 2 points, calls off the jam.
Yeah, fighting her way forward, tapping her fingers on her hips, calling off the jam, trying to pick up points as she's calling it off.
Extreme tack to the jam line for Grand Raggidy.
That's going to be Bex.
Bex jamming for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor a 4-on-2 pack advantage to start the jam. Bex going 1-on-2 against Hawaiian Punch, and hey, the 2 Grand Raggidy blockers doing the job. They hold up the Ann Arbor jammer long enough for extreme tack to earn lead jammer status for Grand Raggidy.
And that's Grand Death Star out there for Ringo Death Star rather out there for.
Ann Arbor's jammer has picked up a track cut. That was Bex picking up the track cut penalty. She is going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. And extreme tack is on the Sakatumi Power Jam for Grand Raggidy. So it's an opportunity for Grand Raggidy to get back into the game. Extreme tack calling off the jam. She picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Yeah, I figured go ahead and start the next jam with a full-strength team and also a power jam. We're going to have a timeout called by Ann Arbor. Coach not happy with how things are going, so kind of call and dial things back a bit.
Well, Ann Arbor, got out to a big lead, 42 points in the first 2 jams. Grand Raggidy kind of woke up after that. They've outscored them 30-4. So at this point, so with 19:57 remaining, Ann Arbor with a 46-30 advantage over Grand Raggidy.
Hey, if you're coming out to the venue this weekend, make sure you visit Classic Slice Pizza, your friendly neighborhood Roller Girl-owned pizzeria, serving up huge slices of salads, desserts, and appetizers made from scratch, specializing in vegetarian and vegan items and the best gluten-free crust in the city. Classic Slice Pizza has been proudly Brew City sponsor from the beginning. Stop in this weekend and grab a slice and a $2 tall boy.
That sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, it's a Brew City skater that owns that.
That's cool. ATI Physical Therapy. When injury strikes, you have a choice. Choose ATI Physical Therapy, the official sports medicine provider for your Brew City Bruisers. All right. Ann Arbor's team timeout is over. Just about ready to resume action. Grand Raggidy on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Number 17, Ultra Fox will take the jam star for Grand Raggidy. The one thing working for Ann Arbor here is they have a full complement of blockers, but they are unable to stop Ultra Fox. She earns lead jammer status for the Grand Raggidy All-Stars.
Bet Mangler back to the penalty box for Grand Raggidy, so it's 3-on-4 now for Ann Arbor.
Bex has returned to the track for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox has picked up 4 points for Grand Raggidy. Bex is hot on her heels. Ultra Fox does a little jammer bump. She calls off the jam. No additional points for either team. But Grand Raggidy takes another small chunk out of Ann Arbor's lead.
Yep.
Score.
But Grand Raggidy, though, is going all in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty boxes. They now have 2 blockers sitting as Sugar Pants got a call at the end of the jam.
So Ann Arbor will start this jam a 4-on-2 pack advantage. Lucy Morals taking the jam star against Tiramisu of Ann Arbor. Pack moving glacially away from the notorious RED jammer line.
Yeah, Tiramisu definitely has the advantage as she only has 2 blockers to go up against. Now 3 as Grand Raggidy has 1 release from the penalty box. But yet
hard impact between Tiramisu and Hawaiian Punch. Tiramisu gets around her to be lead jammer. Lucy Morrill still kind of bottled up by number 24, Jadzia Smacks for Ann Arbor. Tiramisu has entered the pack. She's through the pack. That's 4 points for the Ann Arbor Derby Dames. That breaks about a 4-jam scoring drought for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, for Grand Raggidy, they were concerned about the blocker, and the jammer got past them and picked up 4 more points for Ann Arbor.
Well, as you said at the beginning of the broadcast, Grand Raggidy, very smart jammers. They know what's going on. They're very aware, and they're taking advantage of that to this point.
Okay, lining up now for Ann Arbor will be Leslie Arnez as the jammer, and Mona Vaydid for her second trip out there today.
Motivated, going toe-to-toe with a Track Magic, and that allows Leslie Arnez to be lead jammer for the Ann Arbor Brawlstars. Leslie Arnez quickly approaching the pack, blockers scattered all over. Leslie Arnez through, she's picked up 4 points, and she will call off the jam. Ann Arbor pushing their lead out to 54-34.
Very wisely there, Ann Arbor blockers saw a skater returning from the box and actually skated back to her to make her the pack, which pushed the front Grand Raggidy blocker out of play. Excellent track awareness by the Ann Arbor skaters there, Biff.
Yes.
So we're almost halfway through this first half of the 3rd game of the day.
Number 404, Samuel Jackson jamming for Ann Arbor against number 17, Ultra Fox. Ultra Fox trying to engage in some jammer-on-jammer contact against Samuel L. Jackson. Doesn't hold her up. Samuel L. Jackson, lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Hawaiian Punch with that last hit, unfortunately, was out of play, so she's going to be going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Ultra Fox still bottled up in the pack as Samuel L. Jackson is on her scoring pass. She gets past the last 2 Grand Raggidy blockers. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox still bottled up in the pack. She has to retreat behind Fracture Mechanics. A box of 4 Ann Arbor blockers awaits Ultra Fox. Samuel Jackson going toe-to-toe with Garden Hoe.
Yeah, and she's willing to keep the jam alive, even though Ultra's on a scoring pass, because Ann Arbor has the numbers.
And that is a second Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Samuel L. Jackson. 10 points on the jam so far for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox still bottled up in the pack. Oh, she takes a spill. Hawaiian Punch had to do some fancy footwork to get around her.
She caught the back of her head on the concrete, Biff.
Oh, that jam has been whistled dead for injury.
She's back up on her feet. She'll have to get checked out, though, on the bench. It was called off. Head ref's going to tell her to take a knee, let her get checked out there. She definitely saw the head bounce on the concrete. That's not good.
Even with a helmet, that's bound to smart.
Absolutely. And anyone that ever had that happen to them knows how that feels. You know, we were talking about Samuel Jackson, the confidence that she had to have there and her blockers to allow that jam to continue, because Ultra was on her scoring pass, but she had the confidence in her blockers to continue to allow the play to go on, knowing that she would be able to continue to score points.
Well, when a skater scores 5 points on a pass, they pick up a grand slam while the other jammer's still on the track. That's a testament as much to the blockers as it is to the jammer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And they because just to be able to keep them back, especially the skater the caliber of Ultra Fox, one that has the ability to get through quickly and has the moves to get through. So for Ann Arbor's blockers to hold that up and to get that Rydell Skates Grand Slam is definitely a lot of good talent. So just checking out Ultra Fox right now, making sure she's okay on the track here. Want to talk about Sakatumi. You've heard us talk about them. If you're coming to the venue this weekend, Sakatumi sells fun, funky socks. Socks with tacos, cupcakes, ninjas. Ninjas are cool. mustaches, unicorns, and other things magical. With over 200 different sock designs, there is something for every personality, from punk rock to peacock and everything in between. That's Sock It To Me, who is sponsoring all of the Power Jams today.
And there have been a couple of those so far. Score stands now, Ann Arbor 69, Grand Raggedy 34, Ann Arbor with slightly more than double the points of Grand Raggedy at this point.
Leading jammer right now, as far as points is concerned, is 11-11 Leslie Arnaz, 37 points, followed by Slamuel Jackson at 28 points.
Okay.
So, good.
She picked up 15 of that in that last jam. So
good to see Ultra Fox got up off the track, skated on her own accord back to the bench. Now, the jam was called off for the injury, so naturally she'll have to sit out 3 jams. She can't come back in. But she has been cleared by the EMTs, but she'll have to sit out 3 jams.
Hopefully she'll be okay. She'll be able to come back. So we're ready to resume action. Number 77, Lucy Morrill is jamming for Grand Raggedy against I believe that's number 10, Bex for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, we have a very poor angle here, and as soon as we find out, we'll let you know.
And Trashy Tulips is obscuring the jammer on our feed. So
that is excellent eyes, because now I can see the number 10 in there. So excellent eyes there, Biff, to know that was definitely Bex. Coach for Grand Raggedy talking to the head ref. Want to find out what's going on, but no official timeout there.
So the skaters are gathered at the notorious RED Jammer line. Each team with a full complement of skaters. There's nobody in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Yeah, all seats are available if anybody wants to go visit the
crouching blockers, hidden jammers. Jam is underway. Both jammers tied up in the pack still. Bex bounces to the outside. She is lead jammer for the Ann Arbor Brawlstars. Lucy Morrill's bounced to the inside by number 22, Track Magic, keeping her bottled up in the pack as Bex starts her scoring run. A little toe stop through the tulips to the inside. That is a Rydell Skates grand slam for Bex.
Bex on a scoring spree right now as she's going to be approaching the pack again for one more pass. Takes a quick peek over her shoulder to see where Lucy is. Taps her hips and calls it off.
Plunges into the pack. She picked up, looks like 2 points for Ann Arbor. No, keeping Grand Raggedy off the scoreboard.
And gets a high five from one of her skaters, I think it was number 45. No, it was not.
40. Yeah. Ginger Ninja for Grand Raggedy.
So, that timeout by Ann Arbor, have you noticed that since they came back out of the timeout, Ann Arbor has taken back over control. So well-timed timeout by the coach. Excellent coaching.
Just, recognizing there is a negative shift in momentum and doing what might be necessary to stem the tide. So jamming now for Ann Arbor, number 811, Tiramisu. She is jamming against
that's
number 45. Yeah. That is Ginger Ninja for Grand Raggedy. Both jammers out of the pack roughly the same time. Tiramisu, discretion being the better part of valor, calls off the jam. Scoreless for both teams.
Yeah, that was almost a photo finish lead jammer right there as both of them exited the pack almost simultaneously. But the advantage by a nose going to Ann Arbor.
Leslie Arnaz back to the jam line for Ann Arbor against Extreme Tack.
And Michelle Obama out there wearing the pivot for Ann Arbor, kind of leading this tripod defense as we get set to go for jam number 14.
Jam is underway. Leslie Arnaz recycled to the rear of the pack by a Grand Raggedy blocker.
There was the
Extreme Tack bounced out by number 63. That is Jackie O'Bash's. Leslie Arnaz picks up a track cut or a forearm penalty. She is going to the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box. And Extreme Tack lead jammer and on the Sock It To Me power jam.
The Extreme Tack was introduced to Michelle Obama in that first pass through, and I don't think that's the way she wanted to meet her.
No. And that is probably close enough that Secret Service would not allow contact. So Extreme Tack on a second scoring run. She has picked up a Rydell Skates grand slam. giving the toe stops a workout around the outside. She's bumped out by Dr. Mamesu.
Just out a screenshot there. She got knocked out of bounds there as right at the end of the engagement zone. We're going to get a destruction called on Hawaiian Punch. So she will be going to the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box.
Extreme Tack picking up a second Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And calls it off.
Yeah, as the Ann Arbor Jammer exits the penalty box. Grand Raggedy able to collect 10 points on that jam. They've closed the gap to 76-44, still in favor of Ann Arbor.
Yeah, this game, you see the score on the screen at home, but it feels a lot closer here in the arena. Grand Raggedy is not out of this by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they are not. Number 404, Slamuel L. Jackson jamming for Ann Arbor against number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Raggedy. Pack is underway. Slamuel L. Jackson is the lead jammer by the time she reaches the first turn. Lucy Morals still bottled up in the pack. Fracture Mechanics and Slamlet doing the job there. Lucy Morals around the outside of Slamlet. She is through on her eligible to score points. As Slamuel L. Jackson did a back block, she is headed to the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box. Lucy Morals on the Sakatumi Power Jam for Grand Raggedy.
Yeah, knocked out of bounds there by number 3, Lethal Bo Peep. The jammers and the blockers, or the pivot and the blocker there for Ann Arbor, really laying the hits right now for Ann Arbor.
Well, Ann Arbor seeming to avoid blocker penalties for the most part. Fracture Mechanics bottles up Lucy Morals in the front straightaway.
Excellent footwork there to keep her balance and stay in front of Lucy.
And then when she gets around, 2 Ann Arbor blockers are waiting for her to shut her down. Lucy Morals gallops to the inside. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for Grand Raggedy.
Very hard-earned 5 points there for Lucy.
Indeed. Pack at a standstill, the exit of turn 2. Ann Arbor still with a 2-blocker pack advantage, or a 1-blocker pack advantage now. Now the packs are at even strength. The penalty box has emptied. Slamuel L. Jackson has completed her penalty time. Lucy Morals getting bounced around in the pack. This jam will go the full 2 minutes.
She got knocked down and didn't fall small, and when she fell, she tripped one of the blockers from Ann Arbor. So she's going to be going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, creating a Sakatumi Power Jam for Ann Arbor.
As the jam times out, 3 more points for Grand Raggedy, some points for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor now has a total of 87. Slamuel Jackson picked up 11 points in that jam. Lucy Morals picked up 8 in total. Score stands now 87-52 with 9:11 remaining.
And we have an official review while they're figuring this out. I'll talk about the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin. Dr. Eric Feifel of the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin and MOSH wishes you a safe brouhaha weekend. We are here for all of your injuries on and off the track. Contact us at theinstitute.com. That is theinstitute.com.
Also want to thank Turnaround Skates. Turnaround Skates is your choice for roller derby skates, protective gear, and apparel. They are the official skate tech of the tournament and offer wheel regrooving, bearing cleaning, skate repairs. After you check out our merch, need your name and number on a shirt, Turnaround Skates has you covered. We have reversible black and white scrimmage shirts for you to take home for only $25, which includes your name and number. And Turnaround Skates, they have a spot there at Derby Laces Track 1, the outside of Turn 3.
Hey, did you know also that they're having an awesome raffle? You can win a $100 online store credit, a nutcase helmet of your choice, and more. No purchase is necessary to win, but for every $10 you spend, you get an extra raffle entry. And like you said, trackside at Derby Laces Track 1. All the parts you need to get your skating in perfect condition. Juice wheels are on sale right now for them, too, 15% off. So the coach for Grand Raggedy has presented her case to the officials. The officials have skated away. Now it looks like they have come back to give their response. As soon as we find out what that is, we'll let you know.
All right. Skaters chatting happily on the track as this takes place.
Next, sorry, go ahead.
Referees appear to be conferring. The referee conferring with both coaches.
Next up on this track is Fort Wayne B team versus the MRD B team. Of course, that's the Mad Rolling Dolls.
Right.
And I think Mad Rolling Dolls are keeping stats up to date this weekend too. And so you can find that through them. But next up on here will be another great bout. You know,
Fort Wayne had a thriller against the Bruce City Brawlstars last night. Came down to the last jam. I think Bruce City had a power jam, the second to the last jam, and could not come away with any points. Fort Wayne came out with a 9-point victory. So some great clutch defense at the end of that bout for the Fort Wayne SWAT team. Jam is underway. Bex jamming for Ann Arbor. She has earned lead status. She has escaped the pack. She is starting on the power jam. Less than 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Lucy Morals. Pack at a standstill in turns 1 and 2. Bex starting a scoring run. She goes face-to-face with Extreme Tack. She's forced to recycle.
Yeah, we're going to get a clockwise block called there on Extreme Tack as the pivot. She's not jamming in this jam.
But that is potentially a damaging penalty for Grand Raggidy. And Bex having a hard time with number 69, number 83 for Grand Raggidy. Lucia Baller or Ringo Death Star and Bitty Bitty Bang Bang, forcing her to call off the jam, but she picked up 4 points in that process.
Yeah, Bitty Bitty Bang Bang knocked her out, but unfortunately she hip checked her to the back, which knocked her out of bounds, and that's, of course, a illegal blocking zone. So she will be spending 30 seconds in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, and Grand Raggidy there's no room in the hotel over there. Grand Raggidy has one blocker in the box, or one blocker on the track, sorry. 2 sitting and 1 standing in the penalty box, as you can see right there.
Rather cramped quarters in there. I hope the rooms at the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino are a little bigger than that.
I hope so too, and I bet they're a lot nicer.
Yeah.
And that is a place, a destination you want to go to, not their sponsored penalty box.
Yeah, not the penalty box.
So can Ultra Fox do anything, or can Ultra Fox here to do anything going against 4?
That's a tall task. Ann Arbor, the 4-on-1 pack advantage. Leslie Arnez taking the Jammer Star for Ann Arbor against Ultra Fox of Grand Raggidy.
So you see 83 on the track right now. She's actually in queue. That's Ringo Death Star. She will be going to the penalty box once a seat becomes available. But right now, it's a full house over there.
No room at the inn. Yeah. Leslie Arnez gets around Ringo Death Star. She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox still bottled up by Fracture Mechanics and Slamlet.
So that's going to be another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, as Ringo Death Star is asked to report to the penalty box for Grand Raggidy.
And we lose Ann Arbor loses a blocker.
Yeah, it was a clockwise block there, Biff, and so that'll earn her a 30-second respite.
5 more points for Leslie Arnez. Total of 10 on the jam for Ann Arbor. Pack at a standstill in turns 3 and 4 as Leslie Arnez calls off the jam. She got 3 points, but Ultra Fox able to pick up 3 of her own for Grand Raggidy.
The Ultra Fox doing her own scoring there, but that time she was right on cue, asking for 3 and got 3 from her jam ref.
Ann Arbor picked up a total of 13. Score stands at 105-55 over Grand Raggidy.
Ann Arbor's now broken that 100-century mark and got a 50-point advantage right now on Grand Raggidy.
Number 811, Tiramisu, jamming for Ann Arbor against Tiramisu, or against Jinja Ninja, number 45 for Grand Raggidy. Tiramisu is out. She is lead jammer.
Garden Hoe held her as long as she could, but once the out of play was issued, she had to let her go, and that automatically gave the lead jammer to Tiramisu.
Tiramisu falls off the jam,
but not before Garden Hoe got a little hip check in on her there.
She picks up 3 points. She picks up, so that moves Ann Arbor's lead to 108.55.
So we're going to have two skaters in the box, fracture mechanics for Brawlstars and Ringo Dustar. Ringo was serving a full minute, Biff, as she got an insubordination as well as the original penalty.
That hurts. Pack advances away from the notorious RED jammer line. Number 404, Slamuel L. Jackson jamming for Ann Arbor against number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Raggidy. And Lucy Morals sent to the penalty box for a low block.
Misconduct.
Misconduct.
Yeah, it looked like a low block first being initial, but it was a misconduct. Didn't see what it was, maybe blocking a down skater.
You know, we can't read lips from up here, so that puts Ann Arbor on the Sakatumi Power Jam, number 404, Slamuel Jackson, going against three Grand Raggidy blockers. They've got her at a standstill. They force her to recycle.
Hard hit there by number 187. That's Slam It. And
Slamlet, yeah.
Appropriately named.
404, Slamuel Jackson spins out of the Grand Raggidy pack. She's picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Lucy Morals back on the track. She's finished her penalty time. Jam has been called off. Ann Arbor picks up two more points, I believe.
It is three.
3 more points, excuse me.
Hidden thumb.
Yep. Those get camouflaged against the background that we see here.
Absolutely. Yeah, Motivated took a hard hit there by Slamlet, but got right back up and engaged. Got back in that action.
Beck's wearing the Jammer Star now for Ann Arbor. Extreme Tack jamming for Grand Raggidy. And Beck spins out of the last block. She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor. That is 5 jams in a row. Ann Arbor has earned lead jammer status. Extreme Tack getting shuffled to the back by Michelle Obama.
Michelle working hard out there like she was the first lady of the track.
Well, she might be just about the first lady of Ann Arbor roller derby. She's skated with Ann Arbor almost since the inception of the league. Beck's on a scoring run now. She's through the pack. That is a 4-point pass for Ann Arbor. She's caught up to Extreme Tack. Extreme Tack tries to play some jammer defense. Beck's escapes. Attempts the apex jump, is not successful, but she calls off the jam, and she was able to score 1 more point before calling off the jam.
Hey, I want to remind or let you know, folks at home know that if you're planning for the full 10-minute halftime, that will not happen because of the scoreboard issue. We're only going to have a 6-minute timeout, so you're going to have to plan your break now.
Yes.
So you might want to throw the wings in the oven now.
Right.
To be ready for the second half.
Be ready to refill the coffee cup quickly.
Yeah.
Start the coffee maker if you have to. Jamming for Grand Raggidy, number 17, Ultra Fox. Jamming against number 11, Leslie Arnez. Ultra Fox is through the pack first. She is lead jammer.
Biff, she wasted no time to get out there, trying to get that motivation and that big mo back on the side of Grand Raggidy here.
Ultra quick like an Ultra Fox. Yep. She calls off the jam, discretion maybe being the better part of valor. But she did score 1 point, but Ann Arbor scored 1 point before the 4th whistle.
And not quick enough on that call off.
Unfortunately for Grand Raggidy, no.
Yeah, and sometimes they get hidden in there with the blockers and the jam ref just can't see. And so, it's a chance you take when you get tied up in that pack. The jam ref can't see it, they can't call it.
Right. Refs can't call what they don't see.
Absolutely.
Number 811, Tiramisu, jamming for Ann Arbor against number 45, Jinja Ninja.
It's an awesome name. Hawaiian Punch back up at the front, leading the blocking attack.
Hawaiian Punch swung her booty into Tiramisu, forcing her to the infield, forcing her to all the way to the rear of the pack.
Yeah, they stretch that pack back about 40
Grand Raggidy
feet.
did a nice job of stringing the pack out to the back. That gives Jinja Ninja enough time to earn lead jammer status. 2 jams in a row for Grand Raggidy. They've gotten lead jammer. Pack at a standstill, the exit of turn 2.
Tiramisu having a hard time getting through this time. Grand Raggidy turned it up a notch.
They have, and Jinja Ninja picks up the Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
She'll have a chance to hit it and quit it here, get a few more points, as she's got about a straightaway lead on her opponent.
Ann Arbor trying to speed up the pack. Ginger Ninja calls off the jam wisely. Did she pick up additional points?
She got 2 more
She
points.
got 2 more for Grand Raggidy.
That's what it looked like to me, but I was going to let the jam ref call it because she was right there on it.
So 45 seconds remaining in the period. This is potentially the last jam of the half. For number 404, Samuel L. Jackson.
It's amazing what happens when something like that happens, like we saw that fast lead jammer. Now Grand Raggidy's gotten lead jammer twice in a row, as number 77, Lucy Morals, is going to be jamming for Grand Raggidy this time.
Against Samuel L. Jackson for Ann Arbor. Samuel L. Jackson does a couple hops on her right toe stop, and she earns lead jammer status for Ann Arbor. Lucy Morals still bottled up in the pack. She's sent to the infield by Fracture Mechanics. And Samuel L. Jackson quickly back to the pack on her scoring run. She's sent out now by number 44. That is, or number 14, Gypsy Rose, excuse me.
Yeah, Gypsy Rose, though, took a hard hit from number 62. That's lethal. I'm sorry, that's not lethal. That's Fracture Mechanics. Hard hit.
Fracture Mechanics hits hard and takes names.
So it is halftime. We are down to, like I said, about 6 minutes here. So we're going to cut away quickly, rest our voices as we get ready for the second half. And we'll give you folks time at home to do what you need to do.
Okay, Ann Arbor leads 131 to 63. See you in a few minutes.
Yeah. All right, we're back here. I am Owitty Ty with my broadcasting partner, Biff.
Biff Mix-a-Lot here.
I just tweeted our picture, hashtag Brouhaha 2015.
Yes, so any social media interactions you do with Brouhaha, please include the hashtag Brouhaha 2015.
Absolutely. You can follow along at JJ Colors here, and I'll be tweeting all weekend scores and highlights and interesting stuff that goes on. So having a great time here. First half controlled from the get-go by Ann Arbor, Biff.
Ann Arbor, you know, they know what they need to do to get into playoffs, and they seem to be doing it to this point. They've pretty much doubled up Grand Raggidy. They lead at 131-63.
And we'll see what happened in that very abbreviated timeout, 6 minutes between periods here. We'll see what strategy Grand Raggidy came up with. Great coaching staff by Grand Raggidy, so we'll know that they will probably look at what they did and try to do some stuff different. You heard the cheers from Ann Arbor skaters as they gathered and get ready for the second half.
Now we had to abbreviate the halftime due to the scoreboard issues. The short halftime does not benefit Grand Raggidy.
No.
As they skated the last bout here last night, and they have to turn around very quickly this morning to face a fresh Ann Arbor team. It might be a difficult second half for Grand Raggidy. They face as of right now, 131-63 deficit.
Hopefully you'll stay here with us, but on the Derby Laces track number 2 right now, getting ready to start in about 3 minutes, will be Texas versus the Twin City Terrors. That is a men's bout, so that should be an interesting bout over there here in about 3 minutes.
All right, jam number 1 of the second period is underway. Number 11, Leslie Arnez takes lead jammer status for Ann Arbor.
Lucy Morrell's out there skating for Grand Raggidy out on the track, and a lot of action happening right now between turns 1 and 2.
Leslie Arnez shrugs off the block from Bitty Bitty Bang Bang. She's through for a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. First 5 points of the second half go to the Ann Arbor Brawlstars.
Yeah, we'll get the camera action on the track here and away from us here. Hopefully we can get it switched over.
Yeah, I took a shower this morning for a reason. You know, I knew I was going to be on camera.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and yeah,
I know good. I know everybody out there would rather watch the skaters.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll get the camera off us here very quickly.
Samuel Jackson back to the jam line for Ann Arbor.
I'm going to step away just a second.
Ultra Fox jamming for Grand Raggidy.
You get the camera on the track.
Grand Raggidy 3-on-3 in the pack with Ann Arbor. And Samuel L. Jackson picking up a track cut penalty. So Ultra Fox on the Sakatumi Power Jam for Grand Raggidy. I think this is the kind of break Grand Raggidy needed coming out of the halftime break.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to take these opportunities when they're given to you, Biff, and make the most of it. And Grand Raggidy has proven they could do that a couple of times today, but then it seems like they give it back sometimes right back to Ann Arbor.
Right, they've had their share of jammer penalties as well. Ultra Fox picks up the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. First 5 points of the second half for Grand Raggidy. They've brought the pack to a standstill in turns 3 and 4. Ann Arbor, very strong pack play. Strawberries and Scream bottling up Ultra Fox. She skates out of that. That's another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
As you notice, she avoided Michelle Obama there. She did not want to get hit by her.
No. Ultra Fox back into the pack on a scoring run. Samuel Jackson's penalty has expired.
Grand Raggidy seems to be keying in on Michelle Obama so that they can kind of keep the pressure off of their jammer, which is very smart play. Like you said, Michelle Obama been around a while. Very savvy player.
Samuel Jackson still going toe-to-toe with 2 Grand Raggidy blockers. That includes Ringo Death Star and Trashy Tulips, allowing Ultra Fox to snake her way through the pack for another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 15 points on the jam so far for Grand Raggidy.
And being
19,
back.
excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like Michelle Obama has the jammer cover in her hand and finally gets around on the outside. Grand Raggidy realized it, was trying to hold her back, but got around.
So the jam is called off. Another 5 points to Grand Raggidy. So a big, big jam for the Grand Raggedy All-Stars, 24 points. And Ann Arbor has picked up 7 so far this half, so they stand at 138, Grand Raggedy at 87. So a nice 24-point jam there for the Grand Raggedy All-Stars.
Yep. Beck's out there jamming right now for Ann Arbor. Very lean, able to get through that pack, uses her size to her advantage because it gives her ability to be very quick.
Ginger Ninja jamming for Grand Raggedy.
And just as we saw there, Bex was able to do a little hop and a skip to the inside and picked up that lead jammer status very quickly for Ann Arbor.
Fracture Mechanics recycling Ginger Ninja. She's still stuck in the pack as Bex starts a scoring run. She completes a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. So retaking a bit of the momentum here, Ann Arbor, after conceding the power jam to Grand Raggedy. Bex picks up a 5-point scoring pass. And Bex picks up a track cut penalty. She's headed to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
That's going to be a socket to me power jam for Ann Arbor, or for Grand Raggedy now. And again, another chance to cut into that deficit, Biff.
Ginger Ninja bouncing. She's forced to the outside by Fracture Mechanics and Slamlet. Those are two blockers whose names we seem to be calling an awful lot for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Fracture with an excellent hip check at the very end there. And
they've recycled Ginger Ninja all the way into turn 4, burning, crucially for Ann Arbor, burning some penalty time. And they've burned enough of it that Bex is back out, ready to get on the track and start scoring again for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, that was I was kind of counting in my head. It was about a 5-second burn off there of her having to cycle back around to the outside and get back through. Unfortunately, she's not lead jammer, so she can't call it off to stop the scoring by Bex.
So we will go the full 2 minutes in this jam. Bex has completed the scoring pass that she started when she went into the penalty box. She's picked up another Grand Slam, another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Ginger Ninja through the pack on another scoring pass. She picks up 4 additional points for Grand Raggedy.
And I tell you what, sorry to interrupt, Ginger Ninja got through there because of Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch came back and set a block and then drew a track cut on one of the blockers for Ann Arbor. That last pass was all on Ginger Ninja to help her jammer get through. Or I'm sorry, Hawaiian Punch.
Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah,
Hawaiian Punch has been very active. She's, there's a bit of a high-risk, high-reward action for her. She's sitting on 4 penalties right now, so she has to be a little bit careful as we go through the second half.
And we see that, though, from skaters that do that, provide that kind of support for their team. They do get a little bit more penalties because they're trying to help out more.
Number 77, Lucy Morals, lead jammer for Grand Raggedy. Jamming for Ann Arbor, number 811, Tiramisu. Pack at a standstill in turns 1 and 2. Grand Raggedy, a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Lucy Morals calls off the jam after scoring 3 points.
Nothing for Ann Arbor on that one.
Keeping Ann Arbor off the scoreboard. Grand Raggedy sitting on the cusp of 100 points.
And slowly but surely, Grand Raggedy's cutting into this lead.
They've kept the lead at right around, it's 56 points now. It was 58 or 68 points at the start of the half. So Grand Raggedy, with the benefit of that big power jam, the second jam of the half, they've cut a bit into Ann Arbor's lead. Jam is underway. Leslie Arnez jamming against.
She's going up against Ultra Fox.
Ultra Fox once again. Leslie Arnez, lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, this is exactly what Ann Arbor needed right now, because with 58 points before this scoring pass is their leading scorer right now for the Brawlstars.
Blockers scattered all over the track. Leslie Arnez completes a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Ann Arbor sitting on 160.
Trying to do a star pass right now, 209. The pivot, motivated.
Motivated, an occasional jammer for Grand Raggedy.
Yeah, we've seen her 3 or 4 times in the first half here today, Biff. But mostly she performs that pivot position for Grand Raggedy.
Leslie Arnez completed a second Rydell Skates Grand Slam and a third Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 15 points on the jam for Ann Arbor.
A couple of pirouettes there by Motivated there to get through the pack on her initial pass. And again, if you're hearing whistles at home, and you're thinking, why are they still skating? Because we are back-to-back to the Derby Laces track number 2, and those whistles bleed right over. There's just a thin curtain separating the two tracks.
Yeah, there's not much soundproofing between the two tracks. So we've got resetting the action. We're getting a little pan shot of what we see here. On the other track, we've got a men's bout between Texas All-Stars and the Twin City Terrors, I believe.
Terrors. Yes, it is. Great.
Jam is underway. Number 404, Samuel L. Jackson for Ann Arbor. Number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Raggidy. Lucy Morals almost to the front of the pack. She's around Michelle Obama. She picks up lead jammer.
Lucy doing yeoman work for Grand Raggidy right now.
She's been very successful in getting lead jammer status for Grand Raggidy. She approaches the pack on her scoring run. She's forced in the inside by Michelle Obama, forced to call off the jam as the Ann Arbor jammer approached. But Grand Raggidy picks up 2 points.
A little incidental contact there at the end. No foul, no harm, though.
Right.
So 1/3 of the way through this second half, 101 to 170, and Ann Arbor has picked up a point advantage from the beginning. They now have a 69-point advantage over Grand Raggidy, so they got back everything they gave, Biff.
Yeah, they did. Bex jam against number 09, Motivated for Grand Raggidy.
And that was due in part to that jam by Leslie Arnaz. She now has 73 points, leading scorer for Ann Arbor.
Bex has picked up a track cut penalty. So Grand Raggidy now gets the opportunity for a Sakatumi power jam. Motivated passes the star to Jinja Ninja. Jinja Ninja unfortunately recycled to the rear of the pack. Pack moving slowly towards turns 3 and 4.
She's going up against Fracture, and that's going to be
hard.
Gonna
hurt.
Man,
she'll feel that in the morning.
That is that's great technique right there by Fracture.
Right.
It was a
nice
perfect setup.
Hip to hip check on Jinja Ninja, forcing her to recycle once again, and again burning the penalty time. That is most crucial thing for Ann Arbor at the moment, and they have fully burned off that penalty for Bex. Garden Hoe picks up a track cut penalty. Jinja Ninja still struggling to get out of the pack. She's trying to go one-on-one against Fracture Mechanics. She is not likely to win that battle.
No, absolutely not. I was going to say that's not one I would want to do.
Bex through has completed her initial pass. Ringo Death Star being sent to the Potawatomi penalty box for a forearm penalty. Jinja Ninja struggling with the rectangle of Ann Arbor blockers.
And now Bitty Bitty Bang Bang gone to the box. So there's one blocker out there right now, and that's number 09, the part-time pivot, Jinja Ninja.
In the meantime, Bex circulating freely. She's just picked up a second Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 10 points total on the jam for Bex, despite starting in the penalty box.
It's all falling apart right now as you're going to get a forearm call on the jammer, Jinja Ninja. So it's going to be a Sakatumi power jam for Ann Arbor. And the points are racking up right now. She kind of rubs her hands as she hits the back of as the points are called there as the jam ends.
15 points for Bex despite her not having lead status. She is at 185, Grand Raggidy at 101.
And it'll continue to be a Sakatumi power jam for Ann Arbor in this. And
Leslie Arnaz will start the Sakatumi power jam for Ann Arbor once timeout has been called.
And it is official timeout, been called by the officials, not by either team. Looks like we're trying to get something straightened out in the penalty box over here. Be a great time to talk about Field 59 video platform. Hey, they power the live streaming technology behind the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup in Dallas and now powers the live stream for this 6th annual 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. Power jam your derby bouts with Field 59 video solutions.
Number 1111, Leslie Arnaz, jamming for Ann Arbor. They are on the Sakatumi power jam. 4-on-2 pack advantage for the Ann Arbor Brawlstars. Hawaiian Punch and Extreme Tack, the only blockers on the track for Grand Raggidy. Leslie Arnaz quickly through. She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Got it.
power jam underway. Ann Arbor a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Pack at a standstill in turn 1. Leslie Arnaz bounces to the outside, back to the inside. That is a Rydell Skates grand slam for Ann Arbor. Leslie Arnaz approaches the pack again. She's drawn back by Extreme Tack and Ringo Deaths, or Bitty Bitty Bang Bang. Jinja Ninja has finished her penalty time.
You think there's any
Both
coincidence?
jammers bottled up in the pack. Leslie Arnaz bounces to the outside for another Rydell Skates grand slam.
Extreme Tack going to the penalty box, but I was going to say, I wonder if there was any coincidence that she was pivot there, as maybe they were going to try to switch up to a star pass, but no opportunity given there as she went to the penalty box.
Ringo Death Star, Bitty Bitty Bang Bang, plant Leslie Arnaz in the infield. Those two Grand Raggedy blockers are joined by Hawaiian Punch, trying to bottle up Leslie Arnaz. She decides to call off the jam. Two additional points for Ann Arbor.
High-fived Michelle Obama there at the end. So that last official timeout was just to check on the penalty box procedures, and as we had 3 blockers that were reporting, and they wanted to make sure that everything was properly done. So
lots of penalty paperwork to be done in roller derby.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're busy today. Hey, Leslie Arnaz right now sitting on 85 points, Biff.
Wow, very strong performance by her. She's been Ann Arbor's best jammer so far. Tiramisu jamming against Ultra Fox. Tiramisu absorbs a big hit from Trashy Tulips. She shrugs off Garden Hose. She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Fracture just laid a hit on number 33. That's Trashy Tulips, and just powered her way to the front of that pack.
And Tiramisu approaches the pack. She calls off the jam.
But she's going to be going to the penalty box, though, Biff. She engaged after the whistle, and that's going to be a misconduct call. So we're going to start this next jam in a Sock It To Me power jam for Grand Raggedy.
So Grand Raggedy will send number 77, Lucy Morals, to the jam line for the Sock It To Me power jam. Lucy Morales has probably been Grand Raggedy's best jammer here in the second half.
Of course, she is the captain.
She is the captain.
Kind of dives into the hips of number 63 there, Jackie O'Bashes. Bounces off and re-engages back into the pack again.
Nice block there by Ringo Death Star to get Lucy Morals out of the pack. Lucy Morals, 3 for 4 getting lead jammer status for Grand Raggedy. Lucy Morals on a scoring run. Lucy Morals kind of bottled up in the pack. Jackie O'Bashes kind of leading the attack for Ann Arbor. Tiramisu's penalty has expired.
But still on her initial pass now as Lucy's trying to push that pack forward and out of play. And we are going to get an out-of-play penalty called on number 84. That's going to be Dr. Manju. Still tied up in that pack is Tiramisu. Takes a star cover off of her head.
Lucy Morals with the 5-point Rydell Skates grand slam. 10 points total for Grand Raggedy. They sit on 111. Ann Arbor's at 198.
Tiramisu having a hard time getting through right now. And maybe she can find her way right behind Lucy Morals, and she does.
She does the star stash to get through the pack. Lucy Morals picks up another Rydell Skates grand slam.
Hey, just want to do a little quick shout out here. Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. Lucille Baller would like to say hello to her wife back home. Married Queen McLightning. That's correct.
All right.
So hello back in Ann Arbor.
Hello, Queen McLightning. Hope you're watching. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm assuming she's an Ann Arbor fan, so I'm sure she enjoys the outcome to this point.
Absolutely. Ann Arbor, great town.
Beautiful town. Luck hanging out there. 4:04. That is Samuel Jackson jamming for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox wearing the jammer star for Grand Raggedy. Ultra Fox through the pack. She is lead jammer. 2 jams in a row. Grand Raggedy's gotten lead jammer status. Samuel Jackson recycled all the way into the back straightaway as Ultra Fox commences a scoring run. She moves quickly into and through the pack, but she's bounced into the infield by number 3, Lethal Bo Peep. Unfortunately, she picked up a forearm penalty. That's going to put Ann Arbor on the power jam, and that is just not what Grand Raggidy needed at this point.
And Grand Raggidy seems to have spurts today where they do really well, and then it just seems like things fall apart for them. And just, a jam here, a jam there, and then the Ann Arbor lead just kind of extends a little bit further.
So Samuel L. Jackson on the Sakatumi power jam. She's going face-to-face with Garden Ho. She gets around her. That completes the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 points on the jam so far for Ann Arbor. Ultra Fox has served her penalty. She's back on the track.
Hawaiian Punch going toe-to-toe with Fracture Mechanics right there. Not afraid
Ultra
of that.
Fox going face-to-face with an Ann Arbor blocker. She went face-to-face with Lethal Bo Peep. She gets around her, completes a 4-point scoring pass. So 4 points now for Grand Raggidy. That pushes them to 120.
2 points on that last jam, as some of the points came from the previous jammer, and then you had a no pass, no penalty at the end. So only 2 points in the previous jam.
And number 62, that is Fracture Mechanics wearing the jammer penny now for Ann Arbor. She's picked up 4 points. 4 points for Ultra Fox. Both jammers approach the pack. Jam times out. Ultra Fox campaigning for 4 points and successfully gets it.
And they got a 1 point advantage over Ann Arbor there, so they 4-3 there. Hey, want to remind you at home, or if you're coming, hashtag Brouhaha 2015, and you can tweet along. And if you're going to be coming, send your pictures, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and love to see them.
We accept all social media platforms here at Brouhaha. Number 22, Track Magic jamming for Ann Arbor.
It's the first time I believe we've seen her out there today, isn't it?
I think that's right. Motivated jamming for Grand Raggidy.
She's
a little bit of a spot jammer, I guess.
Yeah, she got lead jammer, powered her way through that Grand Raggidy defense.
So Ann Arbor reestablishing lead jammer status after Grand Raggidy had it the last 2 jams. And Track Magic through for a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Looks like a low block called on the jammer for Grand Raggidy. So it's going to be a Sakatumi power jam right now. A track cut, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Track Magic socking it to Grand Raggidy. She powers her way through. Very strong jammer.
Yeah, like I said, she's moving through very easily. That's a total of 15 points on the power jam for Ann Arbor. 3 Rydell Skates Grand Slams for Track Magic. They've brought the pack to a halt. Ann Arbor with a 3-on-2 pack advantage. That makes it very easy for Track Magic to get through. 5 more points for Track Magic. 20 so far on the jam.
Motivated, though, made it look easy getting through there as well, too.
And Track Magic calling off the jam as Motivated approaches.
But not before she got 2 more points, Biff.
And that will push Ann Arbor's total to 234 to 132 for Grand Raggidy.
9 minutes left in this one.
Leslie Arnaz back jamming now for Ann Arbor against number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Raggidy.
And Leslie sitting on 85 points right now. She has an opportunity to score over 100 points in this bout.
There's plenty of time to do that. Pack is underway. They move away from the notorious RED jammer line. Extreme Tack, Ringo Death Star working on Leslie Arnaz, trying to help Lucy Morals out of the pack, but she is recycled. And Leslie Arnaz, lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Great track presence there and staying on balanced as she got knocked out of bounds but didn't go very far and was able to get right back in and pick up that lead jammer status was Leslie.
And Leslie Arnaz quickly around the pack, into the pack for a scoring run. She's picked up 4 points for Ann Arbor.
Leslie waiting to call it. And once Lucy hits the back of the pack, she does call it. Very smart jammer.
Time is of the essence for Ann Arbor. They've got a big lead.
Yep.
They're content to burn a little clock. You know, no need for the jammers to engage if they don't have to. They've got a 238 to 132 lead over Grand Raggidy. And that's and if this result holds up, that is a pretty impressive reversal from the last time these two teams met back in August.
take a chance to talk about Notorious RED. They are sponsoring our jammer line, starting close and clean on the Notorious RED jammer line. This time will be Tiramisu for the Brawlstars and Ultra Fox for Grand Raggidy. Notorious RED, smell clean even if you play dirty. Get it online at notoriousred.com.
Ultra Fox, one Ann Arbor blocker to beat. She is lead jammer for Grand Raggidy. Tiramisu going face-to-face with Garden Hoe, trying to find a path around her. She does.
And it is a call to the penalty box right now, the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, as two Ann Arbor blockers will be going to the box and starting this next jam.
So, Ultra Fox picks up 4 points. That makes the score 238 to Ann Arbor, 136 to Grand Raggidy. Grand Raggidy, when these two teams last met, was victorious by a score of 215 to 111 over Ann Arbor. So, Ann Arbor getting stronger in the offseason. They appear to be on track to reverse that result here. Number 22, that is Track Magic jamming for Ann Arbor. Jamming against number 35, Extreme Tack for Grand Raggidy. Jammers going toe-to-toe with each other. Fracture Mechanics, the big block on Extreme Tack, allowing Track Magic to earn lead jammer status. Extreme Tack out of the pack now. Pack at a standstill at the entrance of turn 3. Track Magic forced out by Ringo Death Star. She calls off the jam. After scoring 2 points for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
So we're about 6 minutes left to go in this one. Ann Arbor at 240, Grand Raggidy at 136, stretching that lead out now to 104 points over Grand Raggidy. Ann Arbor really stepped it up here in the last 5 or 6 minutes here, Biff.
Right. I think penalties have maybe taken their toll on Grand Raggidy, plus the quick turnaround after that bout last night.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially the caliber team that you're playing here against Ann Arbor.
Right. Lucy Morals jamming for Grand Raggidy. Leslie Arnez jamming for Ann Arbor. Leslie Arnez is through. She is lead jammer. Lucy Morals around the last Ann Arbor blocker. She's out of the pack. Pack at a standstill at the exit of turn 2. Leslie Arnez tries to push the pack forward a bit. Sees the Grand Raggidy jammer approaching, calls off the jam. But Grand Raggidy's jammer able to pick up 1 point before the fourth whistle blew.
Yeah, the leading scorer right now for Grand Raggidy is Ultra Fox, sitting on 67 points. Leslie sitting on 90 right now for the Brawlstars.
Ultra Fox back to the jam line for Grand Raggidy against number 811, Tiramisu. Pack approaches turns 1 and 2. Ultra Fox forced out by number 69. That is Lucille Baller.
Yeah, she's first out, but will not be lead jammer. It was a no pass, no penalty. And, hard hit as she hits the back of the pack.
Oh, she ran into the back of Fracture Mechanics and Slamlet.
Yeah. But that was self-created as she hit the back of the pack herself there.
Yeah, she went in at full speed, and as we've seen, Fracture Mechanics a very formidable presence in the pack for Ann Arbor.
And I believe, I'm looking over here right now, to add insult to injury, she's going to have to go to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for a low block, was the signal that was given by the head ref here, so we'll see if it is actually her.
So timeout has been called, presumably to sort that issue out.
Yep. So, yeah, she will be going to the penalty box for a low block. Now, the jam was called off by the Ann Arbor jammer, so it was not called off for the injury, so she can serve her time, even though she took a hard hit there, and everyone kind of took a knee. But she got up on her own accord, no injury, and she will be serving her time in the penalty box for the low block. So that's going to be a Sakatumi Power Jam for Ann Arbor here. And we're seeing Track Magic, number 22, again out there on the track, Biff, for the second time. Why not? It worked earlier to perfection.
It's worked before. 2 jams for Track Magic, 2 lead jammer statuses. She's picked up, I mean, she had a 22-point jammer first time out. Only 2 points last time out for her, but we are awaiting the outcome of the official timeout. Ann Arbor sitting on a 241 to 137 lead. 4 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the bout.
Talk about Hinckley Productions, and if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be watching us. A Derby friend since 2008, providing live video production services and bringing you this live broadcast of Brouhaha. Support free streaming Derby with your DVD purchase at hinkleyproductions.com/Brouhaha. So you're going to watch this for free today. Buy a DVD and support them. You know, over on the Derby Laces Track 2 right now, Texas, just like last night, in control right now, 105 to 36 over the Twin City Terras. They beat Puget Sound last night pretty well too. It was a great bout, by the way. It was scoreboard didn't show it, but it was a extremely hard-fought bout between both of those men's teams last night.
So Track Magic taking the Jam Star for Ann Arbor. She'll be on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Bitty Bitty Bang Bang trying to hold her in the pack is unsuccessful. Track Magic has her lead status for Ann Arbor on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Quickly into the pack. She faces Ringo Death Star and Bitty Bitty Bang Bang and Garden Hoe. Three of the most formidable blockers for Grand Raggidy. And Garden Hoe forces Track Magic out. She has to recycle to the entrance of turn 1.
Okay, so I want to clarify here. Ultra Fox actually was the jammer in that last jam, but she is being assessed for injury, so Lucy Morals was substituted in the penalty box, and that's why you're seeing her out there and not Ultra Fox right now.
Track Magic through the pack. She's completed a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Lucy Morals out and on a scoring run of her own. She approaches the pack. That forces Track Magic to call off the jam. No points for Grand Raggidy.
But more importantly, she kept points off the board for, like I said, no points for Ann Arbor, but also did not put any points on the board for Grand Raggidy there.
Under 3 minutes left in the bout. Tiramisu back to the jam line for Ann Arbor.
And that's going to be
Extreme Tack, I believe.
Extreme Tack it is, number 35.
Grand Raggidy. Pack scattered along the front straightaway as the jam starts.
A little strategy there by Tack to kind of hang back, see if she could play a little defense, but her teammates did what they needed to do, and she was able to step up and play offense.
Fracture Mechanics going booty to booty with Extreme Tack. Tiramisu finding her way to the outside. She has to get around 2 more Grand Raggidy blockers, though.
And does.
She is lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Extreme Tack still fighting her way through the back of the pack against Fracture Mechanics and others. Tiramisu goes face to face with Lindsay Blohan to get past her to complete the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for Ann Arbor.
Tack finally out of the pack now and able to get around. So Tiramisu will try to score some points. Calls it off, and she does.
She took a little booty check from Lindsay Blohan, forcing her off the track, forcing the call off of the jam. 1 additional point for Ann Arbor, none for Grand Raggidy.
So a chance here for Leslie Arnaz to pick up maybe 10 more points and break that century mark. We'll see what she can do here. She's going to be going up against number 45, Jinja Ninja, for Grand Raggidy. Love that name.
Ann Arbor, a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start. Leslie Arnaz bounces to the outside of Bitty Bitty Bang Bang. It is the jammer once again for Ann Arbor. Jinja Ninja bottled up by Michelle Obama. That allows Leslie Arnaz to just casually tiptoe through the inside to complete the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Lots of those Rydell Skates Grand Slams for Ann Arbor. That's an indicator of very strong pack play on their part. Pack very big, very physical, very mobile. Leslie Arnaz does a little skip through the inside. That's another 5 points. 10 in total for Ann Arbor.
And that will give her a 100-point jammer total so far before this pass.
Hawaiian Punch sent to the penalty box. Leslie Arnaz outside, inside, another Grand Slam. points, 15 in total for Ann Arbor.
So time's ticking away here. We have 24 seconds on the period clock, and the Jam, however, still has about 50 seconds left. And it's going to be a sock it to me power jam as we're going to wind this one down, Biff.
Yeah, as that happened, Leslie Arnaz picked up another 5 points. She circulated the track again. She's approached on another scoring run. She'll get around motivated. That is a 5th Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5s are wild. 25 points in total for Leslie Arnaz. Period clock has expired. We're on jam time only now.
Bonus time.
Leslie Arnaz around the last 2 Grand Raggidy blockers. A 6th Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Pack at a standstill the front straightaway. As Leslie Arnaz approaches, she's forced to the inside.
And another trip to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for a Grand Raggidy blocker. And that's going to end it.
That ends the jam. 4 more points. That was 34 points in total.
She's
by
going to
my
finish.
math.
Yeah, she's going to finish the day with 123 points, Biff.
Very impressive performance. And that makes Ginger Ninja able to score 4 points and all of that. That'll push Grand Raggidy's score to 141. So Ann Arbor pretty much doubles up Grand Raggidy. Score, the unofficial final score, 285 to 141. The Ann Arbor Derby Dimes Brawlstars victorious over the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls All-Stars. Awaiting the official go-ahead for their handshake lap are Ann Arbor.
So it's been a pleasure calling this with you. Our next bout on the Derby Laces track number 1 coming up here at 11:30 again is going to be Fort Wayne B team versus the Mad Rolling Dolls B team. That's at 11:30 here as we are doing victory laps here.
Okay. Ann Arbor embarks on the handshake lap. And once they finish that, Grand Raggidy will take their turn. It has been a pleasure calling with you, Woody.
Yes,
Great
absolutely.
game, very strong performance for the Ann Arbor Brawlstars.
We got a full
Exceeded
weekend.
expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just great. Ann Arbor put on an exhibition today. The Jammers did a really great job. So looking forward to all-day action today and then again tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. If you're a junkie, this is the place you need to be for Derby.
This is where you need to be.
Yeah, Derby junkie, that is.
For Woody Ty, I am Biff Mix-a-Lot. We'll see you guys later. Stay here at WFTDA.tv.